Pick six. Isn't
Yeah.
it poetic?
I
I
will
mean,
say though, I will say it was. I always get nervous anytime we got to go to Auburn because I mean, it always gives us a scare, and everybody was saying, "Oh, Auburn can't do anything against Bama. They were losing to New Mexico State." This ain't your daddy's New Mexico State, first of all, and secondly, nobody's bringing their A game against New Mexico State, and third of all, everybody brings their A game against the Alabama Crimson Tide. So
Jackson, ha- have they not watched Auburn, Alabama enough to know the records don't matter in this game? I don't care what anybody says. Auburn could be 2-9, and I would not be surprised if this was the score. No
and I,
kidding. Go ahead, good buddy.
and I have another question. The real question is, have they not watched Hugh Freeze against Nick Saban?
I I don't know, good buddy, but I will say though, we have to point out. I think Alabama had a lucky horseshoe somewhere in Jordan Hare because today the luck went for them. Isaiah Bond, the back of the end zone. That's gonna be a play that
Bond.
is remembered forever. You
There you
know,
go.
Alabama kick six. Everyone's always pointing that out to them. Well, I think they erased a lot of that tonight. Isaiah Bond back of the end zone. Take me through what your thoughts were, Jackson, when you saw Alabama, have that bad snap, then mill roll. What were you thinking? Like, here we go. I knew.
Honestly, when
Go
that
ahead.
bad snap happened, and then on 3rd and goal, when Jalen Milroe was going over the line of scrimmage, I was like, our natty hopes are over, aren't they? But then I remembered 4th and goal at the Auburn 31-yard line. The game is on the line. Milroe's bat the pass, and he throws it to Isaiah Bond, and he catches it with both feet in bounds for the game-winning touchdown. I'll tell you one thing though, I think any place that Isaiah Bond goes to, this is how he should introduce himself. I'm Bond, Isaiah Bond.
Now, now, Jackson, I must ask. Taking your Bama blinders off for a moment. Auburn only rushed two or three. In hindsight, that may have been a bad decision. Because look how much time you gave Milrow. I know everyone always makes fun of Greg Williams, who did an all-out blitz against the Raiders a couple of years ago, and they were like, "You don't do that." Well, it goes to show maybe sometimes you should, because you gave Jalen Milrow way too much time. You gave the receivers too much of an opportunity to get separation. Auburn might have been, if they just would have all out blitzed and been like, okay, Milrow, if you make a play, oh well. Not let him sit back there and order pizza and call his girlfriend.
I mean that was a big win for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I will say though, I mean people that kind of feel like they had a bad Black Friday or a bad Saturday today, at least you're not the New York Jets. It could be much worse. I mean,
That is true. Now, Jackson, does this concern you at all for next weekend against Georgia? Because Auburn is 6-6, yes, and we know it's a rivalry, but more than likely, Bama should be beating up on Auburn just a little bit more. Does this concern
well,
you at all, or do you think classic rivalry game, we'll get it right next week against Georgia?
I think the second part you said, where you said classic rivalry game, and we'll get it right next week. Because, I mean, we've done it before. I mean, we did it in 2021. We had a tight game with Auburn, and then we got it right in the SEC title game. I feel like that could happen again next week. Because I mean, I warned everybody earlier this week. This had Auburn, Georgia all over it. Because I mean that was what was going to happen this Saturday. We were going to see a game closer than the experts had it. And I know there are going to be people underestimating Auburn because, oh, you lost to New Mexico State. But I don't think you watch Hugh Freeze if you're sitting there underestimating him like that. He chews
Mm-hmm.
up Saban like a chicken nugget.
Yeah, and then it was just an incredible play. All props to Jalen Milroe for making that throw. That was an NFL level throw right there. Now, I would like to know, do you think Jackson, if you gave Jalen Milroe that throw again, do you think he gets it to Bond again, or do you think we have a different result?
I don't know, honestly, but I'm just thinking about that game-winning touchdown.
Now, Jackson, before we move on, I gotta ask this:
What's
when
that?
you scored the touchdown, were you thinking we got this? It's over. Or were you thinking we left too much time? Auburn still got too much time. What were you thinking?
I didn't even think we were going to get that touchdown, honestly. I was like, at least we'll be able to play spoiler against Georgia and, just kind of have a what could have been situation. But the fact that we
Mm-hmm.
won against Auburn with that 4th and 31 touchdown, I was just, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say because I'm so excited.
Yeah, I will say to put the final ball on this, Jackson. I know Alabama fans don't care, but looking at it from my perspective, I feel so bad for Auburn. They had that game right in their hands.